Hockey fans anxiously await the hockey news. Well, here's a closer look at the Hockey Fans Bible.
The hockey news. For the casual or diehard hockey fan, it's required reading. Fans, management, even players in the NHL keep up with the happenings by checking out the hockey news. The hockey news has been covering events all over the world for over 40 years. The newspaper is based in Toronto, Ontario.
It started in 1947, started by a fellow named Ken McKenzie, who's no relation to myself. And it basically started as a house organ for the National Hockey League, and was put out by Ken McKenzie, who at the time was the public relations director of the National Hockey League, I believe. And since then, it's basically evolved into, solid journalism as opposed to being a house organ. And, circulation in 110,000 Canada, United States. We like to think that we've got the best writers from all the various National Hockey League cities, the best junior writers, the best college writers, and that we inform and entertain at every level, from kids hockey all the way up to the National Hockey League.
Although it started out as a publicity newspaper for the NHL, the hockey news has evolved into a respected, successful, sometimes even controversial newspaper.
I don't think in this era that you can be in a situation where you're going to give people puff pieces and they're going to accept it. Everything we do isn't hard-hitting, but by no means are we afraid to take a stand. By no means are we afraid to be critical of anything the National Hockey League may or may not do, or at any level of hockey for that matter. So I think that's what's expected in the 1980s from journalism. If you're just going to give them public relations, and you're not going to be very successful.
The hockey news has a full-time staff of nearly 20 employees. Their work week begins on Tuesday and builds towards a printing the following Monday. If all goes well, the paper will be in your hands by the end of the week. But sometimes getting the paper to the reader is the toughest part of the job.
You know, in the old days, we relied so much on the mail. We were at the mercy of the post office, in a sense. I mean, if a mail straight came upon us, and we had many, it was chaos. And we had to make all kinds of different arrangements, like having our paper distributed to Buffalo, New York. We'd have to truck papers from Montreal to Buffalo to send it to the station where they get it out, and things like that. And but today...
I know a lot of our U.S. subscribers, because you get Saturday service, will get their paper on Thursday or Friday or Saturday after we printed it on the Monday. In Canada, that's not always the case, unfortunately. We're trying to improve that, but depending on it's a large country, and you get the mountains, and people in Vancouver, I'm sure, feel like they're left out the same as Los Angeles when you start getting large distances involved. But that's something that we're working on, too, to try and make it more current, to try and make it a little more lively for the reader.
Among sports publications, the hockey news has a limited following. But with its intense and loyal audience, the paper does have an impact on the sport.
Let me put it this way. Anything that's written in the hockey news is read by the entire hockey industry. That's one thing that we do know, that the players, the general managers, the coaches, the trainers, everybody involved in the game whose life it is to be in hockey reads the hockey news. Therefore, you know that even though our numbers, if you compare it to, a Sports Illustrated or something with a very wide mass appeal, we don't have anything close to those numbers. We know that the people in the game are reading what we write.